I wonder, Shakur is a quick boxer, a good guy, but do you think he would engage you enough that make it an entertaining fight? Or if you fought him, do you feel like it would be a bad fight because you'd be chasing him all night?
You know how it would go. Everybody in this room would know how it would go. You know what I mean? But I guess it'd be good for the sport if we fight now or later.
Gervonta Davis looks like he is set to fight Lamont Roach. Looks like it's going to be in Houston in December. And look, let's discuss the positive first. The positive is Tank is back in the ring. I think it's always very important when these big names fight on a regular basis and they're active. If you look at Gervonta Davis, he was out the ring for a year and he fought in June. So that's a pretty quick turnaround. He's going to fight in December, and that's a positive. It's always important to see some of the top guys in the sport, especially the faces of this sport. And let's be real, Tank is one of the faces of boxing in America. It's good to see him back in the ring so soon. So I think that's the positive. He's going to be active. Now let's discuss the negative, okay? Because there are a lot of negative that I have with this fight. It is not a very good fight. Now, here is my issue with this particular fight. There are names in the 135-pound division that Gervonta Davis could be fighting. We are talking about a 29-year-old going to be 30 years old this year. And Gervonta Davis, I don't know what these fights are. I don't know if it's Al Heyman advising him. I don't know if it's Leonard Ellaby. But he's still taking these gimme fights. Shakur Stevenson has a belt at 135. Gervonta Davis has a belt at 135. Shakur Stevenson is 27 years old. Gervonta Davis is turning 30 years old this year. What is the holdup? What is the wait? Why is that fight not happening? Who is it? Who is advising Tank on the moves to make? Is it and who is advising Shakur? Because Shakur's last two fights at 135, it was Artem, and he was going to go fight Joe Cordina. And that fight, it looks like it's off, and I hope it doesn't get rescheduled because it's not a very good fight. So he's coming off a fight against De Los Santos, who's, okay, fair enough, he's quite tricky, but it was not a good performance. And you fight Artem, a guy that almost got stopped by Frank Martin. So, no, I don't think this is a fight I'm excited about. And I love Tank as a fighter. I think he's an excellent fighter. Got power, very, very underrated boxer. Tank is a brilliant fighter. He's probably, in terms of talent, the most talented fighter in America. Him and Terence Crawford. So, this is my issue with Tank. And, I'm not really hearing the excuse that, Lomachenko didn't want the fight or Lomachenko was ducking Tank. Lomachenko wanted that fight for years. He wanted that fight for years. And then what happened was, after Lomachenko got robbed against Haney, because it was a robbery, Lomachenko wanted to retire. He took that Kambosos fight. He even said it. He took that fight for his dad.
It's title for him because after Haney, I want to finish my boxing career, and I don't need.
I wanted him to pick up another belt, and he went to Australia and beat Kambosos in brilliant fashion. He looked brilliant that fight, and it was looking like we were going to get Lomachenko against Tank. But let's have it right. Lomachenko wanted that fight for years, so I'm not hearing that Lomachenko was ducking Tank. There are other names in the 135-pound division that I would like to see Tank go against. Shakur Stevenson, one, I just mentioned him. I think Zepeda would be a good fight. Abdullah Mason coming up. There are some good names in that division, but for some reason we're getting a fight that no one asked for. And let's be real. Yes, it's going to sell well because Tank attracts a lot of casuals because he's a big name, but no one knows Lamont Roach. He's not a bad fighter, but he's not great, and he's coming up in weight. And this is a guy that lost against Jamel Herring and had a 50-50 with Hector Luis Garcia. So he's nowhere near elite or world level to me. So, I really hope, like I said, Gervonta Davis, Tank Davis, he's a fighter I like very much. But I think the 135-pound division at this point is just becoming an embarrassment. It really is. Like I said, what is the holdup? Gervonta Davis is going to be 30 years of age this year. Shakur Stevenson is 27 years old. Instead of fighting against Joe Cordina, instead of fighting against Lamont Roach, make the fight happen. When Floyd Mayweather got called out by Ricky Hatton, Floyd Mayweather looked at Leonard Ellaby and said, make the fight happen.
I think you saw more action in these 4 rounds than you saw value for money in Floyd's whole career. I'll just leave it at that.
When Hatton made the comment that he made on HBO, Floyd looked to me and said, make fight happen.
You are the cash cow. You are the money guy. So you're the one that you need to make the phone call. Gervonta Davis's opportunity at Legacy is Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, and Teofimo Lopez. If Gervonta Davis beats those 3 fighters, which he's got all the ability to do, I would put him a heavy favorite probably in all those fights except for Teofimo. I think that's a bit closer. But if he wins those 3 fights, he is a Hall of Famer and he is legendary. So let's make these fights happen now. We're tired of seeing these warm-up fights. The only one that seems like they actually want to take risks and actually fight these guys right now is Ryan Garcia. He's the only one that's stepping up to the table. So look, it's a fight I'm not very excited for. I'll watch it because I'm a boxing fan. But hopefully in the future, and hopefully it's not in the too distant future, Shakur Stevenson against Gervonta Davis, they are in the same weight class. I want to see that fight happen, and so do the rest of us.